you, sir. Good morning, kids. I have a really feel-good story about
Sweet. We need one after that
Missouri,
last one.
and I know, right? Missouri expunged nearly 100,000 marijuana convictions in a year. Despite
I just
missing
lost my
deadlines
sound.
under
What was
Amendment
happening?
3, all nonviolent cases related to cannabis are required to be expunged. Just over a year ago, Missouri voters approved Amendment 3 to legalize cannabis possession and sales for adults over 21, while witnessing how quickly the market found its footing, with sales beginning less than 3 months later on February 3rd, 2023. Perhaps more impressive is the state's commitment to cannabis related expungements. Under Amendment 3, all nonviolent cases related to cannabis are required to be expunged, meaning that case record is sealed or destroyed and involved persons are cleared of all their charges. Fully completing expungements is unlikely to happen under the deadlines indicated in the new law. The state has expunged nearly 100,000 cannabis convictions from government records. The law includes a June 8th deadline for misdemeanor expungements and a December 8th deadline for felony expungements, with an exception for those still incarcerated or currently under supervision by the Department of Corrections. Ann Vietz, a Missouri attorney with a focus on defending cannabis cases, wrote parts of the constitutional amendment. Speaking with KMBC 9, he nodded to this missed deadlines and highlighted the sheer amount of work involved in expunging Missouri's cannabis related cases. He said, "We have always said that as long as the courts, the circuit clerks in particular, are making a good faith effort to comply with the law, to get those cases expunged, that we'll be satisfied. They have not technically met the deadline, but on the other hand, we're dealing with a century of marijuana prohibition in Missouri. So there are hundreds of thousands of cases. Progress is evident as reports from June 2023 show that the state had expunged about 44,000 cases at the time, and even over the summer, experts had already theorized that the deadlines imposed by the amendment were likely to be met. Even Sokoloff, senior counsel for Missouri Association of Prosecuting Attorneys, believed that the deadlines were destined to fail from the beginning, calling the amendment very poorly written and drafted without Missouri law in mind. Sokoloff told St. Louis Public Radio in June, I quote, "So it doesn't actually track a lot of the aspects of Missouri law, and as a result, it makes a lot more difficult for compliance because there's some mashing of square pegs into round holes that has to go on. Tackling the entirety of the state's nonviolent cannabis related offenses is made even harder given the way expungements are treated throughout the state. Some counties are quick to clear cannabis convictions, while judges and prosecutors in other counties have resisted and further delay expungements." Spoke to this reality over the summer to Missouri Normal, where he also works as a coordinator. He said, "It is clear that many counties have made no serious effort to comply with the requirements of the Missouri Constitution. It should not be necessary to seek a court order in order to force our courts to comply with the Missouri Constitution. But if that is what is required, we may pursue that option. There is no reason why these counties should be dragging their feet and failing to comply with the law as passed by the voters of our state." John Mueller, a co-owner of 31 Greenlight dispensary stores with 15 in Missouri alone, said that revenues have tripled since making the switch from medical to recreational. That increased revenue from adult use cannabis sales generates tax dollars for municipalities and the state, which in turn can be used for the expungement process, he pointed out. That's one of the things that I think the industry is most proud of, he said, is getting in the Constitution. While 100,000 cases in a year is worth celebrating, Missouri is only just getting started. Yates told KMBC 9 that lawsuits are possible if specific communities don't put in the work to expunge cannabis-related offenses covered by the new law. Even the current process, he added, he expects the entirety of the expungements to take years to fully complete. So why does this take so long? I'm Todd Denkin with High at 9 News. What are your guys' thoughts? Good news with a caveat.
This is good news right here.
I agree, Todd. It should not have taken this long, but I'm glad they got it done.
Yeah.
It should not have taken that long. And I'm just thinking, if people were able to get their records expunged before they started handing out licenses, how many more people would be able to participate?
Without a doubt. without a
Here's what
doubt.
challenges me. There's two parts of this that challenge me. The first is there was a district attorney in Alameda County who was really at the forefront of this notion of cannabis expungement. And if I was a better man, I would have her name right now. I have her business card somewhere. She was honored by the East Bay chapter of Normal. Um, and I talked to some people later, and there's an automated way to do this for most criminal justice systems. And so there's a cheaper way than paying low-level attorneys and paralegals within the DA's office to go through these files. And so it just challenges me when I hear that this is going to take a really long time, because I'm like, are they using the best mousetrap possible? Are they employing technology that's going to save the taxpayer? And then the other thing that challenges me is just the notion that expungement is a fair outcome, right? Like, it's better than a kick in the teeth, don't get me wrong. But until we start to have mass pardons, reinstatement of people's Second Amendment rights, and the ability to have not had that on their record at all, expungement is a really antiquated model for a pre-internet age. And I just don't think it moves the needle as much as people think it does. So yeah, it's a feel good moment, but like, let's keep that feel good in context in terms of how much feel good do we really get from expungement versus mass pardons.
Um,
You
yeah,
make a
and
really good point. You make a really
it
good
could
point,
be.
because the mass pardons is what makes the real change.
Yeah.
The expungement, oh, I can't read about it anymore. Big deal.
Oh, it's
Right?
like
Right.
the
really good point.
Benzinga article.
Well,
Right, that's
it-
right.
And then you could be like, you can be like California and have a bunch of paper records, which makes no sense anytime after 2000. But here in California, they found over 150,000 more after the fact that were on paper records that the system was not able to even identify. I wasn't able to even see after the first couple of rounds of expungements were automatically placed out here.
So
So
what's the cost and
who
what's
knows?
the benefit, right? And so that's
Right.
where I go to this. And it's like, okay, if it's going to take you years to do this, you guys are not employing technology to do this in a more efficient way. And then what's the benefit? Expungement is better than a kick in the teeth. It's a step in the right direction. It is nowhere near the power of a pardon. And some of these executive branch governors need to get off their keisters and start thinking about how, with the swipe of a pen, they can do more good than this other lengthy, expensive process, which doesn't create the same outcomes. So I just
Who's
think,
going to fill the beds in the private prisons?
Well,
we
right?
need to ask for more and expect for more. Expungement is a good first step. It's
100%.
nowhere near righting the wrong. Nowhere near righting the wrong.
So in this, I just feel like a lot of these district attorneys' offices could implement some type of AI technology to go through the case log to extrapolate all of this and not really have to worry about paying a human workload hours and cost of the taxpayer in order to source all these people that would be eligible.
They've already cracked the code on how to do that. Why don't you guys holler at us here in Northern California, the birthplace of Silicon Valley and a lot of technology innovation? Because y'all are taking years to do this. It means you're not doing it with technology. We invite you to step into the 22nd century.
Well, on that, Yarrow, maybe all these technological companies, since they all want to be so woke, maybe they should offer this service for free to all these jurisdictions and license that software out to them for free. Silence, huh? I'm here. Crickets. Exactly. Figured as much. See, big tech ain't trying to give nothing up for free, even when it's trying to help the people.
This is something that Amazon should take over. This is a project Amazon should be able to take over, right? Since they're
oh yeah, we'll
they're
just
waiting in the wings.
Yeah, we'll just drop ship your expungement papers. All of a sudden, you get an Amazon envelope. Yeah,
drone
exactly.
delivery. Let's see if those get shot down on Sunset Boulevard.
Listen, the mass pardon is absolutely an Amazon Prime purchase. It's free delivery and it'll be there in 2 days. Let's go for the mass pardon. Let's take these governors and say thank you, sir, very much for your expensive expungement processes, which create a less impactful result for those defendants. And let's get your mass pardon on. Just get your pencil ready and start signing. Okay, it's not that difficult. Biden set the mini precedent of doing a little bit of a pardoning thing on the federal level, which had really zero impact. But these governors need to understand the power of the pardon. And most of these defendants can't hire an attorney to go lobby the state to say, look, this was unfair because of X, Y, and Z. And can I get my rights back? Can I get
Would you
my
beg?
rights?
Would you beg for your pardon?
I would. I would. I would. The notion that as a grandfather to be, I could never go duck hunting in the Sacramento Delta
That's
with
not
the
true.
grandchild I don't have
You can go
because I
duck
have
hunting.
a cannabis felony from my fucking teens.
If you have a
is
cannabis
atrocious.
felony in California, you don't lose your rights to own a gun. That's not true.
That's absolutely not true. We will spend a whole other episode. You should have Omar back on because that's not
I would
true.
love to. I would love to. But
I'll
Omar is
never go-
running
I'll
for
never go duck-
judge.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
never
but
go
he'll
duck
comment.
judge
hunting.
that statement. He'll judge that statement and tell you that that was just nonsensical.
I
That's
don't
not
know.
accurate.
I don't know.
I'd never go
I
duck
do.
hunting without a Nintendo Zapper gun. Then you're not really duck hunting in the first place.
That part
All
is
right.
true.